Well, go on dinner here. Today we're gonna talk about Invincible episode 1 and all the crazy thing that happened. So yeah, get ready. Yeah, so it starts off with basically two officers outside the White House. They're discussing some type of training, superhuman evasion training, where it's how they handled in situations where if a supervillain or anything, anybody with powers would arrive, how they'd handle it. And they get into some discussion on like whether the tactics are good, because basically, what are you gonna do if a villain or anything comes by you? And it seems like all they really have to do is just tuck and dive or run, just pretty much just evade, and I guess probably save some civilians. But as they're discussing this, all of a sudden, the ground start cracking up, and then we have the Mauler twins arrive. And yo, I look up some stats on some of these two guys. So basically, it's two clones, but they call themselves twins, but it's really just clones. But the size of these guys is crazy. The stats are he's 525 pounds, and height for both of them 7 foot 6 inches. So so these guys are big. So they come out of the ground at the right outside of the White House, and they are complaining about this because it looked like they really wanted to be inside, but the weapons inside of these guys' hands crazy. It's like some big advanced scientific weapon. Like I don't know what to call them, but not too surprising. I don't know if this is real, if this is real, but the real White House. But basically, the White House start take out their guns, and a whole bunch of like 50 caliber guns start firing and all of that. But the crazy thing is, these guys, these Marley twins, they just taking it. They're just looking at it like it's nothing. So they having a whole discussion while these 50 calibers are being shot and a beat at them, and them just turn around and just retaliate and just fire right back. Later on, Steve, one of the other security guys, I thought this guy was about to be dead, cause that's normally what happened with these side characters. He manages to shoot one of the Marler twins in his eyes just by luck, but he was about to die. Luckily, the fake Justice League or the Guardians of the Globe show up, where basically this is the Justice League in their time. But yeah, so for this Justice League, or as they call it, the Guardians of the Globe, you have Flash. There's a Flash type character where only thing that his name is Red Flash, but basically he has the same skills, super fast, superhuman speed, and I guess some amount of strength. They got a Batman, and I'm not gonna lie, I really rate this Batman, and the reason is, well, he's black. I always felt like I don't know about you, but I always just felt like Black Man should have just been a black character. I just felt like it always been dope. I'm waiting for the movie. Yeah, make Batman black. But yeah, so he's basically a rip off of Batman. I don't think he's black, which is dope. And his name though is Darkwing. We got like a somewhat of a Superman type character. We got like two Superman characters, but for this one, as you see in the pic right here, we got in the center right here, dressed in yellow and red, yellow and blue, that's immortal. So basically, he has a regular thing, regular Superman type of abilities, where superhuman speed, superhuman flight, all of that, superhuman strength, all of that, the regular stuff. Then we got like an Aquaman thing. Yeah, basically it's Aquaman, but it's a fish. Yeah, I think that's pretty lame. I think they messed up on that. They could have definitely did a lot more than that, but whatever. And then we got the dopest warrior. We got a dope warrior called War Woman, and basically to me she's like a hot girl type of Thor type of, like Wonder Woman, super strength Amazonian, and she is black. She's a black woman, so I love that. So yeah, she's a dope character too. And then we got like a Martian Manhunter. I don't really like the Martian Manhunter, cause like he's pretty lame, and I'm gonna mention more about that. But yeah, oh yeah, we also got another warrior too, and this is another female warrior, and she's black too. So I believe her name is the Green Ghost, but yeah, she pretty dope. So Michael get into this, and we're gonna continue with this fight. So yeah, everybody's come through, and yeah, they're ready to fight. So the Mauler twins see this, and they're getting prepared to. So like every good superhero, the first thing they're gonna try to do is, well, protect the civilians. So everybody disperses. All the Guardians of the Globe, they disperse, try to do their own thing, trying to get all the civilians at least away from the Mauler twins, away from the White House, to protect them. Cause people gonna do stupid things, so you gotta be able to do it. People will literally try to take a picture or a video of things of like the horror of the place being destroyed rather than running from it. So anyway, so they're doing that. Anyways, you gotta give it props. While Red Rush is like, he's mad fast, so he's grabbing people, he's running with them, mad fast, like to another safe location. But One thing I'm gonna say is that like I really love that Invincible touched on this is because so imagine you going mad fast, somebody that's going like the speed of light carrying you, that should be messing up your organs, you see me? So basically they touch on this where it's like he's doing this, like he's running them to safety, and then once he stops with them, mad people start vomiting. And it makes sense too. Like if you're going at the speed of light and somebody's carrying you and then just stops like that, that gonna mess up something. So, anyways, that was dope. Um, anyways, they still fighting and so forth. One of the Marley twins, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, this was a dope scene. So, one of the Marley twins sees this lady and literally grabs her by her head and then just fling her. I'm gonna talk like, yo, no care in the world, just fling her. Luckily, my boy Darkwing saw and like, he was on his hoverboard. So another dope thing about this, this dude got a hoverboard. So this is like the fake Batman for them. So he sees this and like, yo, he's like, oh crap, I gotta go get her. So he moves on the hoverboard and is going for her. Then boom, yo, the other mother twin say a tank. I'm gonna talk like a whole tank. Cause remember these dudes like 7 feet 6 inches and like mad strong and so big muscular youth. So they fling the tank on top of Darkwing trying to catch the lady. So where even though he catches the lady that they threw, let me show you about that video. Yeah, so even though he caught the lady, the tank is on top of them now, and like he's trying to protect her. Luckily, as they're about to be crushed, Omni-Man comes in and actually, get a little bit of help. And yo, Omni-Man is one of them interesting characters. Also a member of the Guardians of the Globe, but we're gonna talk about him more. So by this time now, most of the civilians are already out. So yo, the Guardians of the Globe turn all of them attention, all of them focus on just the Mauler twins. And I'm gonna tell you this, yo, them start beat out them bumbo clot. Cause yo, they start like everybody started them thing. Um freaking Martian Manhunter. Actually, even though I still think he's useless, he ended up tying him up. You know what I mean? And then like everybody just running. You got Red Flash just running in mad, like giving like a million and one punch in a couple seconds. Everybody doing their own thing. Even the fish dude doing his thing. And you already know, War Woman was doing her thing, like the big black queen that she is, the boss. And so everybody doing their thing. Eventually, yeah, it ends up that they subdue them, and then we cut to a scene where basically we are seeing Omni-Man's family. So Omni-Man, you see his son Mark Grayson, Debbie Grayson, and Omni-Man's real name Nolan Grayson. So this is basically like his secret identity, and then we get more into the Omni-Man family or the Grayson family. Yeah, so right now for the Grayson family, the only people that have powers it seems, are just Omni-Man, which is Nolan Grayson, as we said. His wife, Debbie Grayson, does not have any powers. She seems like she's just regular human. And his son, Mark Grayson, doesn't have any powers. And we find out about this because based on a discussion we are having where basically Mark, his son, is like, yo, I don't have any powers, but I'm hoping I get them shits pretty soon. So it cuts to Mark basically in high school again. And he's going through the regular day thing. He sees a girl him like, and he's just like, well, currently now it look like she's interested into some other dude. His name's Todd. Currently in the series, but he's talking to this girl that he likes. So there's a character that he likes, another black woman. And the interesting thing about this, in the comics originally, Amber, this black girl, who Mark Grayson is interested in, was actually white. And the thing that happened is like for the Prime Video, they decided to make her a black character, which is dope too. But anyways, let's jump back to it. So he is Todd, the other guy. He's harassing Amber, and yeah, Mark, my boss, he don't like that. So bear in mind, Todd is a way bigger dude than Mark. I'm gonna make that clear. So Mark decided to step to him, and well, as you would expect, yeah, Todd beat out him ass, like one to the face and then one directly to the stomach. Yeah, you could see that Mark definitely suffered a lot. I think I saw some spit even fly out too, but luckily Amber ended up helping him get out of that, and at least him get some amount of attention from her. But yeah, definitely take a wicked beating. So boom, after this now, Mark, like every other high school student in America, are normally try to get some money. He has a job after work, so he's at his job, and he bringing out the trash, and he's like two big bags. Look, I think the job he worked at was Burger Mart, but if not, just let me know in the comments. And like he's struggling to throw one of the bags in the trash can, with his weak ass. So he's struggling to do one, then like he's about to do the other one, then as him grab it and he's about to throw it in there, it end up that this guy end up throwing that thing all the way to space. I'm out of space. So then he's just like, all right, cool. Yeah, my powers now. So, you know what I mean? Like anybody, like even if I'm me, like if me just find that out, me I gotta do a bag of things. Me I gotta do a whole heap of things. So the first thing it looked like he did, he went home to his parents and he's just like, yo, I have powers now. So I'm telling mom, Deborah Grayson and his dad, Omni-Man, aka Nolan Grayson. And they're looking at him like, yo, you sure? Because they must say, how you just like get your powers or whatever. But he's like, yeah, I'm throw the bag to space, so there's not much doubt. So then, everybody's surprised, but everybody happy. So then Omni-Man say, yo, all right, I'm going to teach you how to fly tomorrow. And naturally the man happy. You just hear say, yo, you gotta hear off a fly. So so he's just like, all right. So I'm saying, all right. Later on, he tries him try at least to go to sleep for practice with his dad for tomorrow. So as Marco tries sleep, for prepare for tomorrow, he starts remembering like he's lying down in his bed and he starts remembering how a conversation he had with Nolan, his dad, Omni Man. So the conversation is basically like Omni Man explaining his origin, basically where he's from. And it turns out Omni Man is from like a distant planet, so basically he's an alien, which would then mean Mark is a half alien. And him explaining that basically is that he is from a planet called Viltrum, sorry, and the people there are called Viltrumites, and they're really similar to humans, with the only difference being is that they have certain special abilities, like they don't age as fast, and even if they age, they retain their youth and still look young as ever, and they have superhuman flight, superhuman strength, and other acute senses. So, and the great good thing is basically as them age, them get stronger, and so Nolan is telling Mark this, and like Mark is like what 5 years old. He was looking at him like, "Yo, bro, okay." And it explained to them. So basically, for Viltrumites, their goal is to go to different planets in the universe and use their special abilities to try and help them develop and retain a better life or so. So he's telling Mark this, and then we find out what's the true history behind Mark, no, Nolan Grayson, and then so this would then mean that, as I said, Mark is half Viltrumite. So the idea is, so it explains where Mark potentially getting these powers and how the history of it were used by his other culture, the Viltrumites. After this, Mark's like, all right, he's just gonna try to fly. Like he already got the superhuman strength, so he figured, well, he's just gonna try. So this brother did one of the stupidest thing. I don't think I would do this because, well, he wasn't even sure how to fly yet. He decided. So the Graysons live in like a 2-floor house. So if you jump off the roof as a regular human, you probably gonna break some bones or you gonna die. Mark decides to imitate the risk and like him jump off of him roof, and it luckily it ended up that he ends up flying. Everything went well until he later crashed, and he was really messed up a little bit. But another feature of Ultramites is that they have superhuman recovery. So those damages that he might have gotten from crashing that night recovered like wicked fast, like an none. So the next morning now, Mark's supposed to be flying with Omni-Man. So, I'm well hyped, So they're flying around, Omni-Man basically just breaking down the basics for him. Which was, they run a little couple fun jokes and stuff. And, they're just having a good little father and son time. I think that was good. But the part that is crazy is, oh yeah, Mark still doesn't know how to land. He's about to land and him drop and make a big crater again, into the ground. But as I say, the other part that was really good is that I was really crazy. So he play fighting with Omni Man, you know what I mean? Them a fly around, you know what I mean? Them a give him the little 1, 2, all of that. Little boxing. Fake thing, light thing. Omni Man decides, yo, Try and see if you can test something. And man tell us, yo, Omni-Man give the man a bumble clad thump in him chest. Yo, Mark drop on the ground and just start wheeze. Yo, man, not even gonna lie, yo, it did crazy, but I did have to laugh. Like, yo, it did crazy. The man gave him a piece of thump there. If I did me or you, which is with a mashup, everything with a mashup. So, you know what I mean? So, and it's like, the interesting thing, it was like a dark side of Omni-Man that just came out of nowhere. Cause even Mark on the ground and asked him like, yo, why you do this? Why him always? Still funny though. So Mark feel kind of bad about that. He looked like kind of like a punk. Him couldn't really take the punch. So he decides that he's gonna make him own costume and he's gonna go out there and do him own thing. Cause he's a big man. Alright, so he make him own costume, It not look that good, you know what I mean? He gets like a little regular yellow bandana upon him around his mouth, like he think he in coronavirus times, and him get like a little goggles and thing and some bright colored pants. Anyways, it cover up most time face, so it work at least. So compared to other heroes where I don't know how nobody don't notice that Omni-Man is Nolan Grayson. He is not even wearing a mask, but we'll touch on that later. Anyway, so Mark is flying around, he might look for some crime, try to redeem himself. Eventually he bucks up on he hears, some like a robbery taking place. Turns out he bucks up on Titan. So Titan is another black character, which is good. Big up again, Invincible. Much respect for the diversity. So it's another black character where basically he can summon stone to cover his body, and like it's pretty much almost indestructible. So Invincible, but in Mark Grayson bucks up on him. Ignore that piece that slipped out, but Mark Grayson bucks up on him, and he is like, "Yo, you're not gonna do this." So this ends up being his first fight with like any villain or anything. He actually comes out winning, and then later on sees Omni-Man, and like them have a good father son discussion on like how Mark was feeling, and it's always good when men can express yourself. You can talk to another person and not feel like you're pressure nobody. So big up to that. Thanks to Omni-Man for that. They decide Omni-Man doesn't really like his costume, and like he introduces him to his tailor. So they go after this cool dude named Art Robert Stone, I believe. If not, I'm just gonna edit his name right here. And he basically is like he's the guy. Art is pretty much the guy that makes like all the heroes' costumes. So Art basically wants to know like, do you have a name? Like I can't just make you a costume if I don't know like what you like. Like it has to like have the vibe. Like Red Rush has a red costume. Some basically you need a name for him to make some visual thing for you. So Mark decided that alright, he doesn't have a name yet, but he's just gonna think about it and then get back to him. So that's a good part where it's like you can see the character is developing. Where it's like Mark, you might eventually get him costume, get him paws. So what's next? We skip back to later in the night. We get back to the Grayson house where we have Debbie Grayson at home. She chilling, she doing her thing. All of a sudden, she hearing like mad crashes in the backyard. So she's like, "What the hell is happening?" She goes outside. Yo, you see like two big craters in the yard. I don't know about any of y'all, but I could have never done that at my yard. And basically, so you eventually see Mark coming down, and she's just like, "Yo, what you doing?" And he's just like, "Well, I'm practicing landing and so forth." And she's like, "Nah, yo, you need to go to bed. You need to rest. You have school tomorrow." This guy Mark, I don't know what he thought he was thinking, but he thought he was just gonna be rude for no reason. Gonna tell his mom, but she can't force him, basically to do this just because him just get him superpowers and think him a big man and thing. So no, so basically it was a little tension at first, but they end up talking about it, and they have a nice 1-to-1, and Mark eventually goes to bed, and it's like the regular thing. So you're gonna have problems with appearance, like you can't avoid that. You gotta have it. So and sometimes you step out of place, and but you have to be able to resolve it, and that's pretty much what happened in this case. Next day, so now Mark has his power, so he's at school, and like him see the same Todd guy again. Todd guy try bother him. Yo, Mark just he didn't. I don't think Mark did the smartest thing because basically he just ate this dude punches and then wanted to fight after that. So I don't know. I just don't think he just ate the dude punches. He didn't even swing anything back on him. So yeah. Later in the day, my bad. We got a little cough in my chest. So later in the day, we skipped to Mark and Omni-Man pretty much playing superhero baseball. What these guys doing, or superhero catch? What these guys doing is that so Mark is throwing the ball around the globe of the Earth, and like Omni-Man is catching it on the other side. So basically, if to break this down, if Omni-Man threw it on the west, Mark would have just caught it on the opposite side on the east. So yeah, basically, so it's like some superhero thing. But they end up having an interesting conversation, and like Nolan is like breaking down like, yo, you're not like these other kids out here. Like you have super abilities. A lot of them think they're invincible, but they're actually not. In your case, you are actually invincible. And boom, just like that, Mark is like, oh, Jano, yeah, that sounds good, more on that. And that's how he gets the name, well, Invincible. So it's something, so you could say basically got it from Nolan Omni Man, which is dope. And he decides to pick Invincible. I think Invincible was a bold piece of name because you better make sure nobody beat you if you pick that name. So after this, he has a name. I remember that's all he wanted was a name to like so he could give to Art and like Art could work on a suit. So he shoots over to Art and he's just like, "Yo, Art, yo, my name I gonna be Invincible." And Art's just like, "All right, cool." And they work on a costume and yo, it end up. I'm not gonna lie, yo, the costume lit. I get a 10 out of 10. I lie, I get like a 8 out of 10. But it's basically a blue, yellow, and black costume. And like you can see him like him a fly around, like once he gets it, he starts flying around with it, and he adopts the name officially Invincible. Um, him start fly around, he ends up bucking up on his first real villain, like in this new costume, and it's basically some weak villain. He's using like some machines to like let out like flaming fluid or so whatever you want to call it. Sum it up, Mark beat this dude. They had to give him somebody to just beat with in his first suit, so it's not gonna be like nobody OD strong. So I ain't even about to stress on him. I don't even remember home name, but Mark beat him. Yeah, so after that, I'm thinking like, yeah, the show, good. I'm thinking it's done. You see like a quick credit, and then it's like, oh no, the show's still a go on. So the next thing that happens is that you remember the Guardians of the Globe. All of them, you start seeing like all of them like they start getting like an emergency alert. They're blinking. They got like watches blinking. Something. They're getting like, yo, something important happening. Everybody need to gather. So you see all of them shooting off to like their main headquarters, and then like eventually when everybody get there, they're like, yo, wait. So they thought Darkwing called them. Well, my boy Darkwing didn't call nobody. They just hating on home. But they realized, yo, nobody called any of them. So they all sitting there and they're wondering like, yo, what go on? All confused. Yo, then out of nowhere, yo, you just see Omni-Man flying in, about to bust off the immortal head. Luckily, Red Rush come in, running super fast, saved him, luckily. And then like, Omni-Man is just there in the center, like all the Guardians of the Globe just looking at him like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Like, they don't know what happened. You almost took off Immortal Head. What's up? So they're looking at him, and people thinking like, oh, he must be being controlled. Yo, they just start fighting, bro. Like, yo, the shit just it just gets crazy. So Omni Man is going after everybody, but Red Rush basically just keeps saving them, because he's super fast. So my boy Omni Man just says, "All right, cool." So he times it and he catches freaking Red Rush, basically fake Flash. He catches fake Flash, and like fake Flash is like punching Omni Man in the chest, bro. And like he give him like mad punches, but as he's punching him, his hands are breaking. And as he's doing that, yo, Omni Man has this dude skull in him hand, and like the man just squeeze it. I'm not talking about squeeze it like I don't know, like orange. I don't know what you want to call it, but he's squeezing it, and then like if to the point where like boom, him just busts his skull open, just like that, yo, Red Rush is dead. Yeah, so once Red Rush dead, everybody did cross. Like everybody like there was just that brief shock. There was that shock, that quiet 1 second. Then everybody just start attack Omni Man. Like everybody are come after him. Yo, Batman, fake Batman, Darkwing. Yo, I I was hoping Home would live longer, but now Home tried to jump from the air to try and catch Omni-Man off guard. Omni-Man just grabbed the man by his foot and then just slap him on the ground and just use him like a rag. So you already know, so yo, that was it for him. Then you have Dark. Then you have Warrior Woman. You know what I mean? She was holding her own. She was doing her thing, yo, cause she did put on a decent amount of hits on him. And we can't forget Immortal. Immortal was definitely doing his thing, cause you know him was probably the closest to strength with Omni Man next to probably War Woman. And then yeah, so once he was done with Darkwing, though, let me not forget this. Yo, he went straight for the Green Ghost. So I'm gonna tell you, the man just literally pushed him whole hand into the Green Ghost face and then just threw her away. Then, to make it even worse, the man just used her like a shield. Cause you know you had the stupid aquafish thing, fake Aquaman. He's shooting water at Omni Man. I don't know what him think that they're gonna do. Even if the current is super strong, I mean, come on, like, what am I gonna do against Omni Man? Anyways, Omni-Man beat him, bust open the shell, the fish head open, and like man thought the man used like he literally used War Woman's weapon and bust his head open. So he pretty much beat all of them. I mean, I thought mercilessly. By this time now everybody dead. War Woman dead, her neck gets snapped, and then him just finish off Immortal by just chopping off his head with his hand. I'm not talking beer hand like say oh, it's a chainsaw boss. And I'm not gonna lie, like I was just sitting there like, yo, what the bumbleclad just gone? I think of the story, the good. I think Omni-Man, the good. I was just sitting there confused. So I'm there now, and I'm like, yo, what happened? You know what I mean? Like, what happened? But one thing for sure is, I did have to check out the next episode, and yeah, so I hope y'all love the review. Would definitely recommend you come check out Invincible. It's a great show. It's right there. It's on Prime Video. You can check out the comics. Them yo, it lit. And I definitely like. If I should give this a rating, out of 10, 1 out of 10. I'm gonna have to say for the first episode, yo, I give it a 9. A 9. Would I give it a 9? Would I give it a 10? But you know, it's hard to get 10. But Invincible, them great with the diversity. Everything about it good. The storyline good. They got diverse characters. It's not like, you know, the typical thing. It's hard to predict. So if you want more reviews, you know, make sure to say subscribe and like. You know, with the nerd, yeah, the Jamaican reviews, anime reviews. All right, check out.